In this lesson, we're going to review the if formula with a nested and formula. So the if function can be used to perform a logical comparison between two values by testing for a condition and returning the result based on whether that condition is true or false. You can also use the and function, one of the logical functions in Excel, in combination with the if function to determine whether multiple conditions have been met and return the value true or false accordingly. So let's take a look at the formula explanation. First, we have the logical test, i.e. the condition that you want to test. And then we have the value of true, which is the value you want to return if the result of the logical test is true. And if the result of the logical test is false, then you have the ability to input that in the formula syntax as well, so that Excel returns a value accordingly. Let's take a look at an example where we use the if statement as well as the and formula within Microsoft Excel. So in our example, the general manager of a second-hand car dealership wants to know which salesperson met the company's sales goal. The sales goal is used to determine which salespersons are eligible for the company bonus. The sales goal has two criteria which need to be met. The two criteria are as follows. First, units sold during the month must exceed 6 cars. And second, the total sales dollar amount must be greater than $10,000 for the month. The finance analyst produces a sales report from the company's ERP system with sales by salesperson for the current month, and the report provides details on the number of sales made and total sales dollars. Therefore, using that data, we're able to determine whether the two conditions are met for the company bonus. So our solution is below. Let's first take a look at the raw data. So as you can see in cells C44 through G50, we have the raw data. We have the salesperson, the total sales, the unit sold, commission, and whether or not they're eligible for a bonus. So we've summarized the inputs in cells C36 through cells D40 in order to determine what criteria needs to be met for the company bonus to be paid out per salesperson. So the sales goal is $10,000 for the month. The minimum amount of cars sold is represented in cell D38, which is 6. And the company's commission is 4%. Their bonus is actually 5%. So it helps us to have these inputs laid out within specific cells so that we can reference them within our formula. So while we have commissions laid out in this table, it's not relevant to this analysis. We just want to determine whether or not the criteria have been met to pay out an additional bonus for these salespersons. We've performed the analysis in column G starting in row 45. As you can see in cell G45, we start with the if formula and then we're putting the and formula because we have multiple criteria and logic that we need to test in order to determine whether the bonus should be paid out. This is not a simple situation where we just need to see if one value is greater than another. So we start off by using the if statement, then we put open parentheses and then what we're doing is we're essentially nesting the and formula within the if formula. So we're going to continue on with the and statement here. So for the and statement, if you take a look and you click on the first argument of the and statement, it says, provide the first logical test. So the first logical test is whether D45, which is the total sales, exceeds and is greater than D37, which is $10,000. If you recall, the total sales for the month need to exceed $10,000 in order for the bonus to be paid out. Next, we put a comma and we move on to the second part of the formula, which is logical test number 2, because we've got 2 logical tests as part of the bonus conditions that need to be met. The second logic that needs to be met is E45, which is units sold, needs to be greater than or equal to 6, i.e. cell D38. Those are the only two conditions that need to be met in order for a bonus to be paid out, and therefore we don't have to move on to logical test number 3. We can close the parentheses, and the AND statement is now complete. We can then continue on with the if statement. If we click on the next part of the argument after the comma, it says, what is the value to be returned if the value is true? In other words, what is the total bonus amount that should be paid out if the two criteria for the bonus payout are met? And in this case, we know that the bonus amount should be equal to 5%, and that's in cell D40. So therefore we input D40 and we multiply that against the total sales, which is in cell D45, because that's the basis of calculating the bonus. So $12,000 times 5% will be the value that's bonused out if the two conditions are met. And if the two conditions are not met, then there's no bonus and it'll be 0. And so as you can see at the end of this formula, we put value if false to be 0. So when we click enter, we can see that the eligible bonus for Erica is $600 because her sales exceeded $10,000 and she sold 8 units, 8 cars, which is higher than the minimum of 6. Evan, on the other hand, in row 46, didn't meet the $10,000 threshold, nor did William, and therefore there's no bonus. Adam exceeded the total sales threshold of 10,000, but the unit sold was less than 6, therefore he is ineligible for a bonus. Josephine is eligible for the bonus because the two conditions were met, so she's eligible for a bonus of $1,050. And Jenny only sold 2 units, and therefore she's not eligible for a bonus. So that's how the if statement and statement are used together as formulas, and the and statement is nested within the if formula. Again, you could have applied multiple criteria beyond 2. We just applied 2 logical tests within this formula, but as shown on screen here, you could put a third logical test, and there's 3 dots at the end of expression preview, suggesting that you could add several more if you wanted to. But in this case, we only had 2 conditions that needed to be met in order for the bonus to be paid out. Hey guys, thanks for watching this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe from you. And if you want to learn more about Microsoft Excel, check out these videos above. And don't forget to check out our website, commercecurve.com, where we have lots of in-depth finance and accounting courses available with full training workbooks. All of our courses come with complete workbooks of lessons, examples, pre-built financial models, and training videos.